So this has been on my mind for a while, and I want to preface this by saying I don't really like. I think this falls under the category of politics, and I think I've told y'all this before. I don't really like talking about politics and stuff like that because it can be really divisive. It is really divisive in nature, and that's not really. Although I may be a bit of a contrarian inherently, I'm not divisive. That's not who I am in my nature. I'm more about unity. And forgive me for if I'm using too many big words, but divisive means division. Like politics be dividing people, and contrarian means like people say things, people looking in one direction. I'm always looking in the other direction. And it's maybe because I don't trust nothing. But anyway, people have been saying a lot of things about DJ Khaled for a while in regards to the situation, over there with, the war and all of the violence and carrying on that's going on over there in Palestine. Now, admittedly, I'm not that knowledgeable in the situation. I'm almost not. I just know that it's bad. You know what I'm saying? And I know from what I hear, innocence is getting unalived and so on and so forth. Ugly situation. I'm not qualified to speak on the situation because I haven't educated myself on the situation. But what I do know is hip hop culture and the hip hop and music industry and my op. Those things I know. I know who my enemies are and I know how they play in real life. And I'm not talking about nobody in these streets. You understand what I'm saying? I know who the enemy. I know you got to know your enemy. Got to know your op. If you do, you'll understand a lot more about what's going on all day, every day. Now, people was on Khaled's neck because he wasn't speaking about the situation and, him being directly related to the situation. Give me a second. First, they was on his neck for not speaking on the situation. And then when he did actually speak on the situation. And I think they're madder at him because he, of course, did not say what everybody want him to say. My question is, what does everybody want him to say? And how exactly does that help? I saw for weeks people was on his neck. Talk about he don't care about, or whatever they were saying about him. I don't want to paraphrase, but they were upset with him for not speaking about it. And then I saw this, and it says, DJ Khaled says he could speak out about Palestine, but doing so would cost him his luxury lifestyle. Now, I don't know if that's a direct quote from him. Like, I don't know if those were his words. Because if those were his words, I could see that being very triggering. If he said that verbatim, yes. But I don't know that he said that verbatim. We do a lot of paraphrasing when we retelling these stories and, fake quoting people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole lot of paraphrasing. I do it. I know it ain't only me, right? DJ Khaled says he chooses to stay silent on Palestine to preserve his luxury lifestyle, admitting that speaking out could cost him brand deals, private jets, and the blessings he worked for. Okay, I saw the comments on there. They smoking him, right? Smoking him bad. Well, the first comment at the top is from a guy that I actually know. Salute to the homie for the birds, right? He said, we knew why. Me too, right? We did know. And I see somebody else calling him Badusi. Then I see somebody, his daily food consumption can feed hundreds a day. All right, they got jokes. If only he knew the richness and rewards from God he would receive. Another one, he's a total sellout. Another one, hate to break it to him that his wealth isn't a blessing, it's a test, and he's failing. Okay. Translation, y'all ain't gonna do ish for me if I lose my lifestyle, so I'm staying with what's paying the bills. Okay, last time, this topic has been on my mind for a few days, right? When I first looked at these comments, we should cancel him. Couldn't be me. Throw up emoji. So you rather have riches than speak up for your people. He definitely sold his soul for riches. It was more negative a couple of days ago. Here today I'm seeing some that aren't as negative. Right? Here's the thing, y'all. I wish free speech was really a thing, but it ain't. I wish it really existed, but it don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, it exists, but in the same way that free crime exists, free clippings exist, free stealing, free thievery exists. Does it? I mean, you can do it, right? But you will be punished after you do it. You understand what I'm saying? You speak up about the wrong thing in the wrong light, you will be punished after you do that. And I think most of us aren't surprised. I think people just be fake outraged. Because we all work for somebody. We either work for a company, we work for our family, we work for our children, we work for the people. We all work for somebody, right? How many people who are in the comments speaking negatively about him would actually give up their job to speak about? Like, if they thought speaking up about this thing would cost them their job, would they do it? Don't lie to me. Because a lot of y'all, how many of y'all just got the jab just because your job depended on it? So many of y'all didn't believe in that jab. I asked so many people, everybody I know that actually got it, except for like 2 or 3 people. Except for like 2 or 3 people, and I really know these people, and I know they not capping, so I know what their motivation was. But like everybody else I know that got it, it's because of they needed it to work. Ain't no principle over. So y'all could be on here talking all of this talk about how Khaled is sell out, this, that, and the third. That's cool. But here's another something I stumbled across. What was it, yesterday or something like that? And I thought would add some depth and some articulation to what it is I'm trying to say. It's from a woman by the name of Madam President with a Z. And this is what she said.
Control disguised as No, I think I figured it out. No, I had figured it out. They didn't just sell us dreams of fame. They sold us control disguised as opportunity. Look around. Most wealthy black people in this country are also famous. And that's not by accident. That's by design. Because fame is the most powerful leash they've ever invented. You're rich, but as long as you're visible, you're powerful, but as long as you follow the script, our fame is tied to control. You're allowed to shine as long as you don't disrupt the system that gave you the light. Now, if you step out of line, say the wrong thing, do the wrong deal, suddenly the spotlight shuts off and so does the income. Did he? It's a surveillance. It's a system built on surveillance. Because they don't just want you to have wealth, they want to monitor how you use it. Meanwhile, the wealthiest people in America, they're not famous at all. You've never heard of the men who own the electrical grids or the construction empires or the private shipping companies that move billions around the world. We don't teach that in high school. We don't talk about that in high school. We don't glamorize owning utility companies or running an architectural firm. But every building you've ever stepped into started with an architect. Every stadium, school, hospital, home required construction crews, electricians, and engineers. We don't even compete in those industries.
So none of you niggas know how to do none of that.
We've been invited into those conversations. Instead, we're chasing clout. Well, they're building infrastructure still. We're going viral.
All right. I might have let it go a little too far. Anyway, what she's saying is, in the beginning of the video, is the leash that these people have on our celebrities. Like, you know, you hear people say all of the time, ain't no money in streaming, ain't no money in music. All of these things they say, but some of these people have, you know, they just out here living this baller lifestyle. They sign these deals. They sign these, you know, they get these sponsorships, endorsements, or whatever you want to call them, with these people from outside the culture, where they get to, they use the culture as a vehicle to promote their brands, and in return you get this luxury lifestyle, right? And not only do you get the luxury lifestyle, but we want you to show it off too. You can't be no luxury private ass nigga. No, because what makes me think of that specifically is I had this conversation with Jade, and she was like, yo, if you're going to be silent, don't be on the beach stunting, so on and so forth. That's what they pay you to do. That's your job. You understand what I'm saying? And, for me, it's easy, it's easy for us to say and do some, speak up about certain things because we don't have as much riding on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, to keep it 100, like, why do you, I wish it was different. I wish, first of all, I don't really know how much that helps for him to say, to speak on the matter. I feel like real change probably only comes from the pop off, but you understand what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not educated enough about their situation over there. I don't know if they popping back off over there and just, and they just getting thrashed. I don't know, right? But what I'm saying is, I don't know how much it helps, but I do wish that free speech was a thing. You don't think I worry about some of the things that I may say on here to get myself shadow banned and you know what I'm saying, and so on, and clipped completely? Like, it's a real thing out there. If you're a person who use your social medias or any of these platforms not just for fun, not just for social interaction, like if you're using it to earn in any kind of way, or to promote in any kind of way, promote anything, you have probably already at this point experienced some form of shadow banning. Just because you're a real nigga and you say what you want, and some of the things you want to say, they don't want you to say. And the platforms are controlled, and you be wondering why this dope ass posts that you've been posting all of these fire pieces of content and it ain't getting no traction for this week, next week, and the week after that. That's because your free speech, you had to pay for. I mean, why do you think people use words like unalived on the internet instead of saying what it really is? Like PDF file or grape or taking the jab, as opposed to just saying what it really is. Why do people do that? Why do content creators on these platforms do that? Is because we have already learned the lesson or have been informed that if you say some of these words, you got to pay one way or another. Anyway, I don't want to ramble. I'm just basically saying, yes, if it would help, if it would really help, then I wish Khaled could speak on the thing. No, but I don't believe free speech is really free, because you're gonna pay sometimes. Made it to this video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Trying to be a taxpaying citizen of the nation. Leave us a super thanks or a cash app. We actually prefer the cash app, but y'all do y'all. You know what I mean? Spell things right. Helter skelter, not helter skelter. AH's. It's monster, not monster. It's A. And it's BCC, not BBC. And for anything else I might have missed, but I wasn't in that space just now. I'm speaking on this thing. But pause protesters, y'all can get your ass out of here. The rest of y'all. Welcome to the nation. I am your host, your president, your tour guide, Mr. Monster Marago. I'm the landlord, the owner, tenant, the janitor. I'm out the damn floor. Let's go. I'm one of the realest you ever gonna see. I ain't come here to lie to you. Niggas done with a lie to you. I get Beanie Siegel's first album, or Paul Pierce even, they out the truth.